Good morning, I'm Maria from the Richardson Simple Living. Today's Tuesday, so we're back with another vlog. I was going to show you another book, one of the Collins books we used, because I thought, well, I'm going to show you through all of them so you can see which we use and what they look like, in case you're interested yourself. But something that was popped up last night, so I've changed tack a bit. Last night we were playing cards with Sian. I think I've shown you in the educational games. I did a vlog on educational games and there were some cards in there. I'm not sure what they're called, something to do with histories. They were like little card packs to do with histories. I can't remember exactly what they were. And she'd got them on World War I and World War II. And something else I can't remember, but anyway, for a birthday I bought her one on London, a pack of these history cards on London. So it's to do with people and that have a connection to London in the past, and some of them are up to present. So Sian says, oh, can we play it? I said, yeah. And I looked through it, oh, this is really easy, I can do this. And so we were going through, there was a couple I didn't know and some Sian knew and didn't know. And then we got into one and it was like, oh, you'll know this one, Sian. And she didn't. And I was like, And it was Samuel Pepys. And I thought, how can you not know Samuel Pepys, the great diarist? I can say that word first thing in the morning. And he wrote about the Great Fire of London. And she said, no, she looked at me blank, no. I goes, but didn't you do about it in school? I mean, I remember learning it in school. I guess, didn't you do about it? I said, I know that you did about the Fire of London, because I can remember that she had to make a model of what one of the Tudor, well, they were like Tudor houses, the wooden houses that were around then, and what they'd have looked like, and they had to make models of them. And I remember she was sat with her dad and they were doing this model. And that was right back when she was in year 1 or 2, so she was an infant. And I said, haven't you discussed it since then? You know, because it seems, although you do teach children things that early about things like that, but you tend to go over them again years later or talk about them when other things similar come up, or like she did about the Anne Frank diaries. And the teacher never once said what other great diarists were there. You know, never mentioned any others then. They just put it in relation to what they were talking about. And when the Great Fire of London, they were doing that, they were just talking about that and never mentioned anything about Samuel Pepys keeping a diary about it. And I found that quite amazing. So I thought, right, today for English, we'll do something about Samuel Pepys. I said, oh, I've got to sort this out. Because, you know, I'm always saying about these little snippets of information don't always mean anything in particular, or, you know, they're just things that you know. Like when I looked at Samuel Pepys, I know who he is. He kept the diary at his time and he was keeping it through the Fire of London as well. And they're just little snippets of information you've got up there, you know, and this is what I'm always talking about. But when she said she didn't know about it, I thought, oh. So I've changed her English lesson today, and I went on to Twinkle to see what could be downloaded, but it's all paid stuff. There isn't a great deal of free comprehension things at the moment. And I thought, well, it would just give you the main facts anyway, because that's what the comprehension sheets do. They just pick out the main facts, and then if you're interested, you can go on and study a bit more yourself. So I thought, really, I want to study a bit more ourselves anyway. So I thought, what we'll do for English, you can Google up about Samuel Pepys and his diary keeping, because he kept a diary not just about the Great Fire of London, but he kept a diary, you know, of his life through that time, or the time he lived. So diaries are great because they shed insight onto how people lived during them times. There's been a lot of people who've wrote reports and kept diaries and things like that. And I'm so surprised that they don't cover things like that in school, or like the Great Fire of London, they covered it when they were really young and it was never brought up again. So it's just a vague memory if it's there at all type of thing. I thought, oh, I've got to do something about that. So I did find some sheets on Twinkle I know I could write it in her essay book, but I thought, no, we'll do a bit fancy, get some nice sheets. Sometimes do that, just see some nice sheets if they're for free, and I think, oh, we'll just use them. I'll just bring it down a bit so you can see better. So yeah, I just think, oh, we'll use them because they look nice, and chuck them in a folder. But yeah, we found some sheets. See, that looks quite nice. That's about the Great Fire. I remember when she built the house with her dad, they did it out of cardboard, and like, you know, the electrical tape you get, and she got some in black, and her dad actually did the house like that. Didn't have that tower in the background. It was just like a house like that in black and white, and the teachers were really thrilled with it. But I think all they did, got them together and set fire to them to do like the Great Fire of London. But anyway, yeah, we've got a nice writing sheet. If I can find where the next one is. It's all stuck together. So I did one there, and I've done another writing page there, and that's got nice surrounds, look. And then I found a blank page of Samuel Pepys around it, and I thought maybe she could draw a picture or something on there about the Great Fire, or maybe she'll just want to write an extract that she's come across from his diaries. I don't know, but that's a blank sheet to do what she wants. So I thought we'll do that for English today. So excuse me a minute, I want a cup of tea. It's first thing in the morning, Sean's in bed, so I'm having a cup of tea. So yeah, that's what I thought. But I was quite surprised, and I was thinking, do you know, I'm glad I do home education, because if she was in school, she'd be going to school and doing whatever's on the curriculum, and none of this stuff will ever get mentioned again, and she'll not know who Samuel Pepys is. And I think, how many other things does she not know? You know, all these little bits of information, you know. She needs to fill her head with little bits of information, whether they're useless bits of information or might come in useful one day. They don't seem to be getting them in school anymore like they used to. They just don't seem to be coming away with these things, unless they've got an interest of something of their own and they've looked it up, like when they've come out of school. They're not learning it in school, not like I did when I was at school. We learnt all these things, and you know, you were riveted. It was really interesting. The teachers made it interesting, and you remembered, even if you couldn't remember all the dates and things like that, you know, you remembered what you was told, and they made it sound interesting. And I can remember sometimes they used to have like a screen, a white screen thing pulled down, and a projector, and sometimes you'd watch things like a documentary type thing that way, and it was really good. It stayed in your mind, so you pull all these little bits of information out. But John hasn't got any of that, and I'm thinking, how many other children that are in school are going to come away and not know half the things that we once knew that they used to teach us? I mean, I was thinking about a curriculum for next year. I mean, we're doing all the Key Stage 3 books at the moment, but I'm thinking, she's doing all this, but truthfully, it's worthless knowledge. My opinion anyway, because there's very little in any of them that she's ever going to need to know. When I think of things like science and geography, you know, how is that going to relate later in life? She's interested in countries, so she can do her geography on countries, learn all about different countries and the climates in them countries, the people in them countries, you know, so she can relate to people that she meets that might be from different countries, and that's what she'll love. She loves that. She loves places around the world. She's thrilled if she meets somebody that comes from somewhere else, and it's nice if she knows something about these places, and you know, it brings it more to life for her. I mean, she wants us to travel around the world, but I think I'll have to find a millionaire to do that. But that doesn't mean to say she won't go places and do things herself one day, or we won't do some in between. And I mean, it's tricky travelling at the minute anyway with all the restrictions. But yeah, but like to me, well, for Sian, that's geography for her. So I'm thinking, well, a geography book's Len this year. She doesn't need to know about grid references and things like that. She's not interested. It's like maths to her. So I'm thinking, well, next year maybe we will start doing around the world geography, country, looking into countries and the people and the things, you know, life in the countries, that would appeal to her more, and it's more real to life. Sciences, now, they never seem to teach them about the differences of plants, trees. I mean, a while back I'd found a book of my uncle's when he was at school, when he started what is the equivalent to year 7 now. I mean, we called it year 1 when we started secondary school again, which is what was in his book, but it was equivalent to year 7. And he was learning about frogs and butterflies, how they evolve, you know, and plants, trees, things like that, and the weather cycle for growing plants, that sort of thing. And that was their science, that was his science. And I'm thinking, now that's what we should be learning. That's what science is. Some of the stuff in the science book is wacky. Wacky. Yes, it's good to understand our bodies, although they've got that in the science book, but to me that's biology. But yeah, you need to have some idea of your body and things like that. But I think, well, along with science and growing plants, growing food, you're growing food that has different properties that affect parts of your body. That's something is good for something, and another food is good for another part of your body, and vitamins. So you're learning all about your body and learning about what you're putting in, you know, is for your health, and all of that's connected. That is science. That's a science Sian needs to know, and that's science she'd be more interested in. So I'm thinking about all these things just from playing that game last night. You know, it makes me sit and think, and like Sian going, oh, school again tomorrow, because we're picking up these books, and it's like, oh, not again. It's like being in school for her. Now we've nearly finished the books. We will probably finish most of them by the end of the year, so we are happy to go through it. The history one she's fine with, she doesn't mind, but like I say, it misses out huge chunks of history. So I've got an idea. She had a book, I think I showed it last year. It was a long time back, I think, when I showed it in a vlog. Unless it was after Christmas, if she'd done for Christmas, I don't know, but it's a while ago. And she'd got this book, I think it was Kings and Queens throughout history, right from the beginning to present. And I think that might be worth, I'm not sure yet, it's just an idea in my head, but it might be worth me having a flick through that, taking each one from the beginning once she's finished all her history book, and studying the time period that ruler ruled, you know, and like medicines of that time and crime and punishment of that time, how people lived, how they worked, you know, learning all about that time period under each ruler. So we get a good picture of right from the beginning up to now type of thing. But I'm not sure, I'd have to look through the book to see how it's laid out first, because it's just from memory that I remember glancing through the book. But yeah, they're the sort of things I'm thinking, you know, I don't need all the school books. And if she's not going to do exams, because when I bought the school books, we weren't sure whether she would or not. She always says she didn't want to do maths ones, but she doesn't want to do any, she says, and you know, that's fine by me. There's no need to do any, really. So yeah, it just got me thinking. And you know, we sort of got in a bit, well, you get in a bit of a rut with the books sometimes, and I think sometimes you think, must do this, must do that. And although I'm a lot better than what I used to be. When I first started homeschooling, I mean, if you look back at some of my early videos, I was pressuring myself and Sian that we got to do the maths for year 7, we got to do this, got to do that. And as time went on, I suddenly realised, no, you haven't. No, you haven't at all. And this is ludicrous, forcing yourself. And so I think, you know, from next year now, from when the books end, we'll start replacing it with our own studies. I've not got no plans to buy any more books. I mean, I have been looking at GCSE books, not because she wants to do the GCSE, but I wanted to see what they went on to, what else was being offered, so she didn't miss anything if I felt it was important. But I can't see anything different that we've never thought of, and it just shoves lots of things in that doesn't matter really. But having said that about the GCSE books, I did actually study something on the Weimar Republic GCSEs. Now, I think she'd probably like doing that. I don't know what the book's like. I've seen it on Amazon, and they only give you a couple of pages to flick through, so you can't get a true picture of what it's like. But they're not very expensive. I think one of them was like $2.99, so I thought, might get them and let her have a go at them, see what she thinks, because it's the sort of thing she's interested in. So yeah, that's it really. We I don't know, I was just overawed when she couldn't tell me who Samuel Pepys was. I couldn't believe it. I thought everybody heard of Samuel Pepys. It just worries me really, because the next generation that grows up, what are they going to really know? What are they going to know about anything? You know, like now, how many children can identify all the different birds and different trees and things like that? I mean, I saw somewhere the other day, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I might have seen it on Facebook, but somebody had said, I can't remember what I saw, but somebody had said that they'd been asked, how do you cook conkers to eat? How do you cook conkers for eating? And this person, are you serious? You know, hands above, you kill yourself. But yeah, and it makes you think. You just think, really? They're not being taught nothing. They're not being taught what they really need to know in school. And I just got no words for it, really, just got no words. So yeah, I'm just thinking, all these books really, I mean, they're not a waste of time, don't get me wrong, they're not a waste of time, because if you've got a child that's interested in them, you've got a child that wants to do the GCSEs, they're really good. Even children who go to school, parents will often buy them a book like this to help them out if they're struggling in an area that they want to attain. So they're not a waste of time, the books aren't, but you've got to watch, if it's not for you sort of thing, you've got to sort of watch what you're buying, and they might not be as appropriate. This is why I'm having a flick through of all of the ones we've got, so you can see what they look like, whether you think, oh, that's good for us, or that wouldn't really interest what we're doing, you know. That's why I'm going to, I think there's about 3 more books that I haven't showed you. I haven't showed you the history, I haven't showed you the geography and the science. I did once have a quick flick through the science, but not page by page to show you what it's actually studying. So I think there's 3 more to go through of them, which I will show you. But I just wanted to come and, maybe I'm having a rant. I just wanted to talk about really, you know, how amazed I was that she didn't know who Samuel Pepys was. It just makes me think, what else doesn't she know? You know, how do I know what to tell her about if she doesn't know, and I don't know what she doesn't know? But I'm thinking she'd be just doing more things and just picking up more on different things. Just have to keep your ears open, don't you, really, and listen to what your children are saying and pick up from it from there. I just feel a bit speechless about it all today, really. Even though I've had a good rant about it, I feel a bit speechless, really, that they don't know these things, and it worries me. What else do children not know? And what's the next generation, or even the generation after them, especially, what's it going to be like? What don't they know? You know, if you think you can eat conkers, what else do you think you can go and eat off bushes? How do you know what's poisonous and what's not? Start going to, you know, do picking vegetables wildly. How will they know what they're eating? How, they might poison themselves. People need to learn, children need to be learning it in school, really. They need to be learning the important things before anything else. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say today. I just thought I'd come on and have a moan. No, I just was amazed. And so today we're just going to Google up, for English we'll Google Samuel Pepys, and she can write about that, and at least then she'll know. She's got it there and will know. Even if it's a bit of useless information, it's there. We all have that bit of useless information. But yeah, it'd be just part of something that she'll know about. But yeah, there was also the character Mo Farah, and then she goes, who's that? And I thought, oh, I have got some printed sheets of that. So I said to her, you'll find out. But you see, it's things like that. It's just getting to know things like that. So yeah, that's it for today. We're just going to get on with some lessons. When she gets up, she's in bed at the moment. It's quite early. Dean's just gone off to work, so I was having a cup of tea and just getting ready for the day and get a load of washing on, as you do. Ooh. I was just looking at the kitchen floor and muddy dog prints over it, paw prints. I was thinking, oh, I've got all that to mop up and everything and do a schoolwork. And I've been having a sort through my wardrobes as well to get things out that don't wear anymore or don't fit me. Because I was a nice size 14 and I'm not now. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to get rid of them, and if I'm lucky enough to get back to my original size, then I'll just buy new ones, because by then the ones have got to be out of fashion anyway. So yeah, I've been having to clear out my wardrobe over the weekend, and I thought I'm going to shove them on eBay, get some pennies for Christmas. So I've got all that to do today, and Sian normally is quite good doing her own work and everything, but I'm only in the next room in the kitchen milling about if she needs me. So there's all that to do today. Like I say, Dean's gone off to work. I hate the first part of the week, I do. There always seems more to do than in the latter half. Then weekends are hectic. So, I want a nice quiet week. I need a holiday, that's what I mean. So anyway, I will love and leave you now, or I'll talk all day. But yeah, I shall see you on Friday. We'll probably have a look through one of the books on Friday, unless we go anywhere or do anything, and I'll show you something different. But if I don't, I'll perhaps show you through one of the books, and you can have another look at one of them to see what you think. So until then, take care, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.